Needham, September 29th. The purpose of this meeting is to take positions on remaining town meeting warrant articles, of which I believe there is one, so I will take the roll. We are not anticipating any public comment. Mr. Matthews.
Here.
Mr. Borrelli.
Here.
Ms. Cooley.
Here.
Mr. Bulian.
Here.
And the chair, Moe Handel, is here. We have one remaining article, that is Article 17, which is a citizen's petition on which we have not yet taken an article. Does anybody want to speak to the article or propose a position?
So I would like to propose a position and then we'll speak to that briefly. I move that the select board recommend and move at town meeting that the subject matter of Article 17 be referred to the select board and that the select board shall report back to the 2021 annual town meeting or sooner.
Is there a second on Ms. Cooley's motion?
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Now we come to the discussion. Marianne?
So we listened last week to the proponents for the article, and subsequently, of course, they have also put up their position. I think that all of us find to some extent that the public position that's been discussed is somewhat at odds to their executive summary and to some other information that's available. But it is definitely, in terms of what they're saying, a position that I think that the town is amenably in favor of, you know, that they feel that this is an important topic of this time and they wish to be supportive. At the same time, the request from the petitioners really directs us to do a broad number of things across many organizations and committees in town. And how exactly that works and is coordinated makes sense that it could be within the scope of Nuwari, which is looking broadly across a variety of organizations in town and what's going on, both within town government and outside in citizen organizations. So I think it would be appropriate to be referred back to the select board as part of an overall coordination effort to understand and bring an organized proposal back to the town.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to address the motion?
Chair.
Mr. Borrelli and then Mr.
Sure.
Matthews.
I think after the presentation, I made my comments clear that right now we're in the middle of embarking on Nuwari, and my request is that we postpone this article, until the annual, because I think we have to do our work, see what comes out of it, and then be able to move forward once we understand what the problems are. It's clear that they're not going to do that. I have issues with language in the article as well as some of the whereases statements. So I think probably the best course of action right now would be to refer it back to us, support that position, and then have us look at some of the issues in respect when we have the Nuwari work. So I think it's a reasonable request and I'll support that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Ms. Matthews?
Yes. You know, race equity is an important part of the work of this board this year and is going to be in the coming years. With regard to in the petition, we had a long discussion about it last week, and there's broad areas of agreement. There are some specific disagreements, and then there are a number of sort of differences about individual language items. But the purpose, I think, of everybody at the table is to advance the work of race equity, and we've got with the Nuwari initiative and other efforts that the board has pursued this year, and ongoing efforts at the school department and other town agencies. I think it makes a lot of sense to incorporate this into that work, and a motion to refer the subject matter of the petition to this board makes a lot of sense.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. John Bulian.
You know, along those lines, I concur that the referral makes sense. You know, their petition, and I understand and agree with my colleagues with respect to the elements of the petition that may be at odds with each other, the executive summary versus the bullet points that they're looking to explore. However, I think that incorporated into their petition is asking or directing the select board to establish a committee. We are doing that. We've done it a little bit differently. We've done it prior to their petition coming forward. So I think it makes a lot of sense to offer this referral and support this at town meeting, and hopefully town meeting members will see that as well. We are actively engaged in moving the issue of racial equity forward. Thank you.
And then before we take the vote, I think the citizens petition is well intended. I think it tracks very closely in many respects to what we are already doing. I think it will have a good result in the sense that it will be discussed at town meeting and town meeting members can weigh in. But I think the most prudent course to accomplish the work that we've set out to do already and have already begun is to vote to refer. So I will ask if there are no other comments for the vote on whether to recommend to town meeting a motion to refer. You would make that motion, Marianne? Is that how that would work?
Yes.
Now, would that happen in the course of your presentation?
So I'm understanding that I am going to make that motion in the course of my presentation.
Okay, that makes sense. Then everybody knows what's happening. All right, any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, we come to the vote. Mr. Matthews? Dan? How do you vote?
And
Yes.
Mr. Borrelli?
yes,
Ms. Cooley?
Yes.
Mr. Bulian?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that's unanimous. Do we have any other business, Kate, that we should conduct before we go for adjournment, since this is to discuss town meeting?
We do not, Mr. Chair. The next meeting of the board would be 12:45 on Sunday, October 4th, just prior to town meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. That brings us to a motion to adjourn.
I would make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
second,
The motion's been made and seconded. Mr. Matthews?
Yes.
Mr. Borrelli?
yes.
Ms. Cooley?
Yes.
Mr. Bulian?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
You all.